Thanks, Lion. Hey, it's me, Ciscoe Morris, and here's what's coming up on Gardening with Ciscoe. Harvest your veggies at their peak, then make a dish that puts that harvest to good use. Bushes that need trimming now, and the latest must-have plants for fall. All this is coming up right now on Gardening with Ciscoe. Ciscoe Morris.
And I'm Meeghan Black. Welcome to Gardening with Ciscoe from Squak Mountain Nursery here in Issaquah. Okay, let's just face it. I am kicking and screaming into this next season, and I need some help. So we came out here today to find some punch, some fun, something to keep us interested in gardening into the rainy and the wet and the, you know.
Oh, yeah, and Meeghan, look what I found.
Wow,
oh,
look at this. I like that.
So, you know, remember the purple fountain grass that's so cool?
Right.
Well, it dies all the time in the winter. This is redhead fountain grass. Oh, and look at these red flowers. Not only that, they don't wait till September. They start in August.
Oh, they're pretty early.
Yeah, and it gets about 4 feet tall, 3 foot wide.
Right.
Multiply by another third.
My favorite characteristic, drought tolerant.
Oh, yeah. Boy, is that a charmer or
I
what?
love it.
Yeah.
Nice find. So that'll give you a little something to look at in the garden.
Now if I can already figure out where to put it.
Yeah. And if you have trouble, you can always just give it to me. Hey, speaking of Ciscoe's garden, you know, right now is prime time for harvesting. And here's what we found when we checked out his veggie garden. So we're playing peekaboo in the vegetable garden right now because I literally could probably sink down and get lost in here. Well, I think early in the season we teased you about planting 11 tomato plants. 1, 2, look at all these tomato plants.
There's only 10 now, but I put a pepper in its place.
Yeah, exactly. And then it looks like we've got, cauliflower.
Check that baby out, huh?
Not bad at all. And what is this?
Oh, Brussels sprouts, and look at how they're forming, Meeghan.
Gee, isn't that funny that I don't know what they are? I guess those are Brussels sprouts.
You don't look as excited as I am about this.
So obviously this cauliflower baby is ready to come out.
Yeah, you know, I would have cut this about 2 days before, but I wanted to wait till we could show it on TV, Meeghan.
Okay, so having never harvested cauliflower
before, cut it down below on the stem down there, because you can always remove leaves.
Okay. My first ever cut cauliflower. The leaves are a lot bigger than they are in the store.
They are, you know, a lot bigger. And man, oh man, this is going to taste so good. Oh, man.
Hey, what's this?
Look at that.
Is he ready to go, or do you want him bigger?
Well, it's starting to get a little yellow.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and you got that way down.
Okay.
Because I like the stalk too. Great. Oh,
look at that little baby.
That's going to be good eating, let me tell you.
Well, there's just a baby here.
Yeah, that one I'll let go a little longer, you know, and I've already harvested off this one several times.
Oh,
they're almost done for the year, but I got still more coming.
So I guess we're leaving the Brussels sprouts.
I wish we weren't. I know.
And,
I'm sure you're disappointed.
Hey, look.
What do we got?
Squash?
Oh, a nice yellow squash. That's ready. That's that's when they're the best. Just like that. Nice summer squash. Oh, these are so good. Oh man, I like grilling these. Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
With a little cauliflower and everything to boot.
Grill all of it together. If only the Brussels sprouts were done.
Yeah.
Hey, we might as well grab a few tomatoes while we're out there.
I don't see any red ones.
There's some red ones behind you there.
Okay.
Here, I'll take a look at this one. You know what? This baby isn't making it into the house.
Oh, is there another one? Is there another one?
Man, I just want to chomp this guy too.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty more down the road there, Meeghan.
Oh, wow. Well, how
Even some big ones.
So, you know, I'm noticing I have never done a huge vegetable garden. I've just done spotty vegetables. They will take over your life. You need a lot of room, don't you?
We need more room here.
Yeah.
This is the problem. I got it all crammed in. Or try and use a little restraint when you're picking your tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, go out there and harvest if you're ready, and steal your neighbors if you don't have any.
Oh,
like Ciscoe's.
Who's stealing? Who's here? Oh, la la. Oh, look at the size of that one. Wait a minute.
Look at this baby.
Ooh, that's a stew piece. Those are so good, Meeghan.
I'll let you know whether it's good. Holy cow.
It's good, isn't it?
It's good.
Ooh-wee. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Squak Mountain Nursery, where we're checking out some of these cool new plants.
I find sometimes that the plants you love the most are the ones where you need them to be, right? And so this is a Mucdenia. Don't you love that name?
I do love that.
It gets like 2 foot tall white flowers, and then you know this because you have one, right?
Yeah.
And then as it ages, it gets this gorgeous bronze color, and it's for shade. Hello.
Oh yeah, they call it crimson fans, and boy, it does turn crimson. And I've never seen a snail or a slug touch it.
Another reason to love it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Now, is this a new plant?
It was pretty darn new. Yeah, it's only been out for a couple of years. So.
Okay, putting them in my basket.
Oh la la.
As I'm out there planting, I probably need to have my pruners handy, don't I? Because this time of the year, doesn't everything need cutting back?
Oh yeah, well I'll tell you, your beauty berry certainly does. Holy cats, Meeghan, look at how tall everything in here. Look at these lilies. I don't believe them.
You almost get blown over by the scent. Isn't
My
it
socks
fun?
are rolling up and
I
down.
know.
I'm glad I'm not wearing sandals. I don't know what would happen. Oh la la.
Well, some of the things in the garden right now, I do want to start controlling because this guy, the beauty berry, he is like reaching for the moon or probably the sun, but you know.
And beauty berries tend to get wider too,
okay.
so we might, you might do some pruning now so this doesn't get out of control,
Right, and it looks a little silly arching over.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, well, you can't prune shrubs this time of year. But hey, the berries are already forming, so as long as we're careful, we're not going to remove hardly any berries. They produce on last season's growth, so this is a good time to do some pruning
At least the out-of-control summer pruning.
Yeah.
So how high? I don't want it any shorter than the tallest things in the garden. So just above your head, maybe?
Yeah, and here's something interesting, Meeghan. So we've got these flat branches that are coming out. And we got little ones that are going kind of up. So to preserve kind of a neat shape on it, I'm going to go to those little ones that are going up.
Okay.
So.
Oh, there you go. And it doesn't even, it hides some of that.
Yeah.
Cut too.
And what do you think, Meeghan? Do you see a good spot to cut this one?
Right about the same.
Okay. And I don't see any little ones that can cut too. So but these are going up a bit. Let's see how this turns out. How's that look?
They're kind of staggered, so it looks a little more natural. There's one more branch out there that's kind of heading into the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, and this is the one that could get kind of wide. So we have a choice here, Meeghan. I could take this guy all the way down. If you need it for a screen, I cut it back at any height you want, but I could take it right to the ground, too.
Why don't you take it to the ground?
All right. No guts, no glory. Hey, can you, is this the right one?
Yes.
It gets confusing in here. When you do this by yourself, it's really easy to cut the wrong one, All right, this is a hard one to get to, but I'm going to do the best I can here.
Oh, not that one.
Oh, Meeghan.
Just kidding.
Oh, you're a rascal.
Just kidding.
Man, oh, man.
Okay. Oh, that was a huge guy.
How does that look? Did it look better?
You know what? I think that looks a lot. It's a little bit more in proportion with the garden.
Wow. And one thing people don't realize is how pretty the flowers are on these.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost done flowering, and you have to kind of look close, but they're really pretty. But look at all the berries you're going to have on this.
See, and that's what I love. After it drops its leaves in the fall and winter, you get those gorgeous purple berries.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
It's just an amazing attraction when nothing else in the garden is showy. So.
The name of this plant is Callicarpus bodineri profusion, but Callicarpus means beautiful fruit. And one other thing, if these were starting to cover some of your
crowd a little bit.
you can always go ahead and chop those back a little so that each plant has a little room, because this is starting to look a little like a jungle in here.
I like my jungle.
Yeah, I do too. It's looking beautiful.
Beautyberry, much easier name to remember. A great plant, has year-round interest.
Yeah. So if you're looking for something a little lower than your beautyberry, something that could maybe creep over a wall or something. Yeah. Look at this vaccinium low hugger. Oh.
It's an American cranberry.
Yeah. I bet you can eat these, but I don't know for sure.
I Googled that one, yeah. Very nice. Well, that certainly will not cause problems.
No, that's going to stay right on the ground. I'll tell you what, the birds will love it.
Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe. So we harvested the vegetables earlier. Well, now Ciscoe's in the kitchen with Lynn Villa to show us how to use them.
Okay, it's harvest time. This looks like my kitchen. All these vegetables, what to do with them? And you know what? I grow eggplants sometimes, but all I do is slice them up. I don't know how to do something like this.
So what we're going to do is make these beautiful harvest vegetable tarts, and including eggplant. And I learned this tip from a chef I worked with years ago. It's a great tip, so I'm going to teach it to you.
All right.
So what you do is you cut the top off first. And then you take a potato peeler or a sharp paring knife, either one, okay? And you take little strips off. Here's the key about the skin on the eggplant. It's kind of tough. You can take it all off, but then you lose that beautiful color contrast, right? So if you take a few little strips off, then you're not biting into big chunks of eggplant skin. And so then when you make your cuts, you've got these pretty little, and I'm going to cut these really thin because we want these to be, they want them to
this
roast
is
through.
so cool.
And so you've got pretty little contrast in your cuts. Isn't that fun? And you'll say, I owe everything I know. No. All right. So we'll set that aside. And let's put our little tarts together. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I love putting these together. They're so super simple.
You cooked these?
I did. From scratch.
Wow.
Yeah, from frozen puff pastry. Yeah. So God bless puff pastry. Yeah. So what I do is I just cut them into simple rounds. No edges, no fancy cuts. Stabbed them all over with a fork so they don't puff up too high. Little egg wash, throw them in the oven just for 10 minutes or so, okay? So then we're going to layer these up. A little bit of pesto.
Oh, yeah. Pesto.
Yeah, and if you want to use red bell pepper pesto, or if you've got like a marinade, or I mean not marinade, but a blend of some sort of custom pesto that you make. I'm sure you make custom pesto all the time.
Yes,
then feel free to use that. Okay, and this is just to get a little flavor on here.
Yeah.
And then we're going to sprinkle them with a little bit of cheese, and I've chosen a couple of different local cheeses.
Oh boy.
One is the Mount Townsend Harvest Moon, and the other is the Beecher's flagship. And so little sprinkle of that goes on. These are very rustic. These do not have to be, perfect under any circumstance. And you know what happens if the cheese falls on the pan? It browns, and then you just pick it off and eat it like a little snack. Yeah, there's a culinary tip for you.
I like that tip a lot.
And then what I do is I'll drizzle this with a little olive oil before we put it in the oven. But then just paper thin slices of whatever you like. So I've got red onions, zucchini, heirloom tomato. What looks good to you? We'll do one for you.
Okay. All right. I think I want a tomato on there.
Okay, you go for it.
Sure.
Okay, you put some on there.
Okay, I'll stick a couple on there.
Two slices is probably good.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you a fun little tip when you're doing tomato, is sprinkle a little more cheese on top, and then take a couple of these darling little heirloom cherry tomatoes, and just sort of stick those on there too. And they'll brown nicely on there.
Is that going to be good?
So let's do a little bit of red onion.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you give me some zucchini slices on this one here?
Okay.
See, I kind of like doing these sort of individual, each one has its own little flavor, but you can certainly mix and match if you like.
So you could mix or match, you can do whatever you want?
After we put a little bit more olive oil on, hit them with a little pinch of salt and pepper. And then I saved one last one to show you because it's not a vegetable per se, but it certainly belongs in this category of harvest, and that is fresh figs.
Oh, fresh figs.
I love figs. And they go with, believe it or not, they go great with the pesto and the cheese. Yeah, and you'll love them because if you think about it, you wrap figs in basil, it's basically the same thing.
Wow.
And then so we'll give each of these a little cheese, and then they'll go in the oven. Okay.
Ooh, those look wonderful. Oh, they smell good too.
All right, I'm thinking maybe you should eat the one with the figs. What do you think?
Definitely.
Hey!
What now?
Oh my God, knife coming in.
Oh, I'll be good.
All right, so now the fun part is you have to have a little bite of fig, bite of basil. See how that comes together? Okay, guess what? I can't resist.
Okay, here comes the plane. Open the hanger.
I can taste it just watching you bite into that.
Oh my gosh, is that good?
Nothing more need be said. Happy summer, my dear.
Oh, happy summer. Oh la la. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Squak Mountain Nursery, where we're picking out our favorite brand new plants for
I like
fall.
mine. I like this. This is
What is
nine
it?
bark. It's a brand new 9 bark. Look how fine foliage and the dark red stems. I'm loving that.
It's all right, but look at this baby. Amber Jubilee. Look at all the color and all the different leaves.
But look at how fine and cute mine is.
Oh, yeah, that's a little wimp. This thing gets over 6 feet tall,
You know
for
what?
crying out loud.
I do kind of like it, but I already have it.
Oh,
So I'm going to go with this one. How's that? Well, since we're picking out all these fabulous plants, we need to find room in our gardens for them. That's why you got to go and say, hey, you're not working there. It's time to leave.
Oh, yeah, I love it when a plant dies. Room for a new plant.
Ciscoe says he doesn't like these plants, and guess what? He's given me the tool to dig them out. But what I'm more interested than in digging these out, which of course I will end up doing, is what you have to replace them.
Oh, do I have the cool plants?
Talk about them and I'll dig.
All right, hey, now this is, believe it or not, the centerpiece, Meeghan. So this,
Really?
Yeah, this is Elymis or Elymis Magellanica.
Easy for you to say.
And this is such a beautiful bluegrass. You
Wow,
wouldn't
that is
believe it.
amazing.
It's a deciduous one. It'll die back in the winter, but it comes back. And
Fringe flower.
Yeah, fringe flower, laurel petalum. This
Okay.
is sizzling pink. It stays red. Hey, Meeghan, you're doing good.
I'm
digging
working
that.
hard.
This is golden nugget barberry. Stays low.
Ooh.
Stays golden. Indestructible.
And little
plant.
prickers, I'm sure.
Yeah, prickers. They come with the prickers. And then, I love the living tweedle out of this, Meeghan. So this, believe it or not, is a black-eyed Susan.
I
It's
would have
the
thought it was a
only red
coneflower,
one.
except it's not a coney one.
It's called cherry brandy.
Oh, it's beautiful.
They usually only last about 2 years, but they go to seed.
I need,
Holy
nope, I guess I got it.
Whoa!
Jiminy Christmas.
Holy man!
So you also want that hosta
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he looks, you know what, that's too close to too many plants. I'm making you do that one, buddy.
I'm grateful for that, Meeghan. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of in a tough area here. And since this hosta just isn't living up to my expectations, I'm not going to worry about crunching the heck out of the roots of this guy.
Okay, you do that. I'll get you. Oh, look at nice roots.
Woo,
They're red
wow,
roots.
Look at how red those are.
That's cool.
I never knew that.
I never knew that either.
Wow, and these do have beautiful flowers that hummingbirds love in the middle of winter, Meeghan.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
It is good. So go ahead. I'll give
Okay.
you him.
It's a deal.
Oh, kind of need to dig him in.
Yeah, all right. Oh, there we go, Meeghan.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. All right. We got some fruit in
Nice.
there already.
I'm
Yep.
thinking the Rudbeckia is probably going to go
Yeah,
next.
that'll look neat, kind of peeking up over some of this stuff.
It's a little more root bound. So just break up those roots just a little bit.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, I think I'm ready for them. Okay. Yeah, perfectamento. All right. Okay, Meeghan, the barberries next.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get him. Oh, beautiful roots.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't even.
Man, that's
oh,
nice.
He doesn't. He just needs to be careful. Oh, that's kind of low.
Ooh, that's gonna look nice in front of that cherry
Cute.
brandy.
Look at that, and then our grass is gonna go like right in here.
Yep, yep.
How beautiful!
And won't that be a spectacular? And we'll still have that nice grassy look, which we need here.
Right.
We
The
got a lot of
only
coarse
thing
thing.
I'm wondering about
Yeah.
is that fringe flower
Yeah.
is going to get about that big.
Yeah, that could be true.
So, you know what? We will revisit that someday because I'm looking at this. That stays compact. That looks beautiful, and that is going to get huge.
That could be the honker that ate Chicago.
But you know, it's all trial and error,
That's
isn't it?
right. Look, it's going to look great for a while.
Little pruning in your future. Now that we have the room, here are my plants. Again, I have this Mukdenia and the 9 bark, the name Little Devil.
It
Loving
fits.
it. Hey.
I've got Amber Jubilee 9 bark. I've got Redhead fountain grass, and I've got low hugger vaccinium, a little cranberry.
I love it. These are all fairly new, and they are going to keep the interest through the fall garden. I can't believe we're saying fall already. It's such a fabulous summer. Hey, thanks for watching Gardening with Ciscoe, everybody.
Hey, thanks for watching. Meeghan, can I have that little devil? There's
No,
only
you
one.
have 3.
No,
I have 2. We're going to get me a new plant.
But
Have a great weekend.
bye.
I get 3.
I want more little
No.
devils.
You have 3.